What's poppin' T Squad? It's me, Keisha, and I'm here with tonight's All Tea, All Shade Love and Marriage DC Season 1, Episode 5 review. I must say, tonight's episode was by far the best episode of this season thus far. You know, that Episode 5 is when really things start to really heat up, and this episode did not disappoint. But before I get into tonight's review, I have some behind the scenes tea for you guys. So a few weeks ago, after the show debuted and Winter made her debut on the show, she took to social media to lay out her grievances and things, and that led to some back and forth between not only she and Ashley, but her and Monique as well. So one of the things that Winter tweeted was, I'm 40 years old with 4 kids. I'm not auditioning to be someone's friend. I can find better things to do with my time than getting drunk and dancing on tables. Ashley responded with, Winter, I never wanted to be your friend. You know this. I've told you this. You should audition. I think she meant to say, you should have auditioned your husband. I'm very happy you are pursuing your PhD. Thank God for book smarts, because the common sense, ... Whoa, wowzers. That was mean. Then the whole topic of whether or not Winter called herself a relationship coach was discussed, and she says that she never told Monique she was a relationship coach. And Monique responded to her on, I believe it was Instagram, in the comment section, and said, at Simply Winter, you definitely said I'm a relationship coach, with the eye emojis. Then Ashley jumped in and added Monique and said, according to her, she never said it. Then Winter jumped in and added Monique and said, and I was at the time Kevin and I started getting to know each, I think she meant other, but I addressed this often during the show with the shrug emoji. Y'all never let me share in full. Everyone who follows me on my platform knows that I shifted from relationships to ministry. I have receipts. That transition was a big deal. It's fine. I know my truth. So then Ashley responded to Winter and said, girl, which is it? Because I'm confused too. Like, was you or were you not? So then Winter responds to Ashley and says, so you're 36 or 13. Is your heart this ugly? Help me understand. I know you're desperate to escape quicks. Shadow, but you're taller. Oh God, we will always see you. Lord the fuck Jesus, this reunion is going to be insane. So Ashley then responds to Winter and says, Winter, I know it's difficult that you can no longer hide behind Bible verses anymore, and the real you is being shown. My heart is ugly for asking you, you're a relationship expert, when the proof is clear that that's not your calling. If anyone has the ugly heart, it's your half head, because the way you throw around rumors about other marriages is anything other than godly. Did they not teach you that on online ordinance class? Oh God, you can throw around all the short jokes you want, just like your first husband threw around his dick and impregnated your nanny and other women while you stayed in a marriage and have kids the same age. Oh, bitch. Oh, bitch. Whoa. Ashley said, bitch, you gonna start it, I'm gonna finish it. Wow. She also goes on to say, or how you married a scammer who was such a believer. Get a grip on reality, like you finally got a grip on that bald ass. Bad choices in men, bad choices in haircuts. You knew exactly what the fuck I said to you, as this was back in January. Now you tough for the internet streets. I'll see you at reunion. Ciao. Woo-wee. Yeah, I told y'all I was heating up in DC. Don't sleep. Child, oh Lord, let's get to the review because we got even more tea. So we pick up exactly where we left off last week with Monique and Chris getting into it after they return home from Tanzania. So Chris walks out the room when Monique shuts down, and he's sitting outside in the hallway talking to one of the producers, and then one of the female producers is on inside their bedroom trying to talk to Monique. And Monique was just like, I'm just tired of pulling teeth with him. I've been trying to get stuff out of him for years, and everything is just pretty much surface level for him. Like, he never goes deep, and she just feels like maybe he doesn't even know who the hell he is at this point. So how can he try to give me something that he might not even know? And then Chris is outside in the hallway telling the producer that, maybe I'm not moving as fast as she is. I'm trying this, that, and the third. He eventually ends up coming back into the room. And Monique was like, I'm not trying to put you down. I want to align. I don't feel like we're walking hand in hand together. I'm trying to get the balance back. And at this point, she begins to cry. And I started crying too. I honestly did, because like I said to you guys on last week's episode, I know that a lot of people don't like Monique on this show. They don't like the way she's coming across. But at the end of the day, this is a couple who has been married for 10 years. So like she keeps on saying, this has been something that she has been complaining about for 10 years. And it seems like it goes in one ear and out the other, and nothing is being done or changed. And as women, how you have had, issues with your husband, and you're asking him to change certain traits and he's not doing it. And then when you get mad, he'll say, I'm going to work on it, I'm going to work on it, or I'm going to change, and he doesn't. And she's frustrated because, we as women, we try and we try and we try before we finally say fuck it and end up leaving. So at least she does just not on some fuck you type shit, I'm gone, because if she was a gold digger and in it for the money, she would have been gone. Let's just be honest. She could have been gone and did whatever the fuck she want to do. It's obvious that she loves her husband and she's trying. And he sees that she's upset, and, he immediately gets up and pulls her up from the ground and hugs her and holds her as she's crying. And he says that, he thought from a man's point of view, the fact that he's home at night, he's not out in the streets, he's there for their children, he takes care of her, that everything was fine. And that is what a husband is supposed to do, though. And that's not brownie points. And that's what she's trying to get him to see. Those are things that you're supposed to be doing. That's not nothing that you get brownie points for. You're supposed to be home at night. You're supposed to take care of your children, emotionally and physically, be there for them and help. You're supposed to take care of your wife and do all of those things for me like I do for you. What she's asking for is more romance, to be mentally in tune with me, to be spiritually in tune with me. That's what she wants. You know what I'm saying? She wants to have that connection with her husband. And I don't think that that's too much to ask for. I understand exactly where she's coming from. And he says that, he's trying and he's going to work harder at, really getting things together. And I appreciated that. I actually really like that scene. And I think that a lot of couples will be able to relate to that. Then we see Jamie go to his daughter Brittany's place to help her put together a nightstand. Brittany has a really cute little setup in her place. And, she says, however, in her confessional, that the nightstand was just an excuse to get him over there, because she really wants to discuss what happened during dinner with Jason. So, she says to her dad she wants to talk to him, and she says, when we were having dinner and Jason was trying to explain to you what it is that he wants to do with himself, you weren't really hearing him. You weren't trying to hear it out, because, when it comes to you, you like to have everything your way. It's your way or the highway, and you ain't trying to hear what nobody got to say. And Jamie was like, he needs to have someone that's going to check him. And Brittany was like, and somebody need to check you. And I'm going to be the one to do it. Now, who going to check me, boo? Okay. And she got her daddy together. And I was like, come on, you better stick up for your brother. And, she was like, you need to listen more and let him do what he wants to do, sir. This is his life, not yours. And Jamie was like, you know what? You right. I hear you and I feel that. And they give each other a pound. And I was like, come on, Brittany, you better be the voice of reason. After that, we see Monique meet up with Winter at this really cute restaurant. And this is what I be talking about on my Love and Marriage Huntsville reviews. All the restaurants restaurants that the Huntsville people go to look like some mom and pop hickory dickory dock type shit. I want to see some more glamour. You know what I'm saying? If y'all got to go to the next state over, like, I want to see more of this, atmosphere when y'all going out, because I love these aesthetics that we are getting from the places that the DC girls are going to. So they sit down and they discuss, the whole Chris situation and how she just wants him to open up, more. And Winter in her confessional says that she feels like Monique goes a little bit too hard on Chris and that he might not be in the same place that she is, and she wants him to hurry up and get to where she's at, and that's basically not that fair. But on the other end, I'm looking at it from Monique's perspective of, I've been asking for this for 10 years. So it ain't my fault that you ain't on the same playing field that I am emotionally when it comes to our marriage. So then Winter goes on to tell Monique about what happened at the Ocean Prime lunch with Tasha, Irena and Ashley. And Winter was like, they were pretty much ambushing me, and she was like, Ashley said all we heard about was Kevin, and quite frankly, I was bored. And she says to Monique, well, I was like, well, what were you and DJ Funsize talking about at the end of the table? Now, mind you, the way she's saying this story to Monique, she's telling it in a way where she's making it seem like she said all of these things to Ashley, or at least that's the way it could be interpreted. She's not saying, well, I was thinking in my head, well, what was you doing? No, she verbatimly said, well, what were you and DJ Funsize talking about at the end of the table? So Monique in her confession was like, Ashley is not going to be happy when she hears about this. Now, the confessionals were filmed after the fact, after all of this was filmed. So Monique at this point is thinking that this whole conversation was verbatimly being stated the way Winter is telling her how it went down, not knowing that these extra tidbits are what Winter is adding to the story, like from her perspective, but it really wasn't said in that conversation. So Monique says, well, Ashley told me she used to be a mean girl. And Winter was like, Irena, I feel like she and I have an issue because of that whole situation. I just feel like she plays both sides. And then they show a flashback scene where when they were at Ocean Prime, Irena was like, I'm just glad you're not a scammer, because we don't want to be sitting here with no scammer. And I was like, oh, why you say that, Irena? That was quite rude. That was mean. That wasn't a nice thing to say. So yeah, I would be looking at you sideways for saying something to me like that, but I would have addressed it right then and there. And this is what I have issues with so far with Winter, is that all this stuff you saying in your confessionals and to Monique, you did not say to them in their face at that moment. You were just sitting there like, okay, girl, like you were just making faces, but you wasn't saying nothing. So Winter says, I'm not judging you. We hear all types of stuff about Quick in the street, so you're real loud on my situation, but you're real silent on yours. You heard rumors. Now, once again, she's not telling Monique that this is not the stuff that she actually said to this girl. But maybe Monique did know that she was saying it in a roundabout way and it wasn't being conveyed to them. I don't know. I don't know what Monique was thinking, but I'm just letting you all know that it could have been taken either way. So she says, Monique was like, I've never heard anything about Quick. And Winter was like, well, you don't get out the house. For those of us that do, it's not breaking news. And I was like, ooh. She called this man DJ Funsize. Now she talking about the fact that he cheats. I was like, ooh, girl. But I'm like, once again, why didn't you say that in that conversation when y'all was talking about, rumors and this, that, and the third, and when Ashley was saying she's heard stuff, but she ain't never seen nothing? Why you didn't say, well, I heard stuff too about your nigga? So Monique was like, well, what did they think, you was going to steal their man or something? Because I'm confused. Like, why was they coming for you? And Winter was like, I do not want DJ Funsize. He does not meet my height requirements. I was like, ooh, girl, like Winter got a good read game. I'll give her that much. So then she goes on to talk about Irena and Jamie. And she was like, then we got Mr. Fall and drunk sleep at a stoplight. And I was like, ooh, now you bringing up Irena and Jamie? Girl, what is going on? So Monique was like, what? She was like, yeah. So she goes on to tell her what Irena told them about how, she'll be blowing up Jamie's phone. He don't answer the phone. And then when he finally calls her back, he tells her that he was drunk and fell asleep at, stoplights and shit like that. So Winter was like, DMV is the biggest, smallest city. And, I just feel like we need to tread lightly. Basically saying, I just feel like these hoes better watch their mouth because I know shit on both of them. And I was like, well, put it on the glass, bitch, because I want to know what you know. Let us all know, girl. So at this point, things is getting real messy. Messy, and I was living for it. And we get to my favorite storyline so far this season, which is everything about Jason Tyler. He is by far the most valuable player. He is by far the breakout star for me with this new show. We see the Tylers go to Jason's school. He goes to a school for the blind, and he plays a game called Goal Ball. And basically the game is for people that cannot see. So they have a ball with a bell in the inside of it. And it's a quiet game. You have to, be quiet when you're playing it, and they roll the ball. And it's basically like hockey, but without the stick, pretty much. And so you lay in front of a goal, and you have to use your senses in order to stop the ball from going into the goal. And him and one of the other students at the school, I believe, and his mom was on one team, and then his siblings and father was on the other team. And Jason and his team killed them. He was like, I'm a beast on this motherfucking court. Y'all got me fucked up. I might look like Al B. Sure, bitch, but I play this game like I'm the motherfucking Rock. Don't get me motherfucking started. So then after that, everybody congratulates Jason's team, and him and Jamie sit down and have a one-on-one conversation. And Jamie just tells him, I heard what you were saying at the dinner table. I understand. And I'm basically going to try my best to, listen to what it is that you want. So then Irena comes over with a yellow envelope and a manila folder and tells everybody to gather around. She's actually had the paperwork from Doors for a few days, but she wanted to wait until the whole family got together, and she reads the acceptance letter to Jason, and he got into the school. So of course he is super excited. Jason was like, I'm the fuck out of here ASAP. I'm tired of you niggas. I'm about to work. I'm about to get me a bitch. I'm about to get me my own motherfucking place. I'm about to be about this motherfucker. I was like, yes, Jason. Jason gave us a cute little 1-2 step. He is the fuck gone. And I was like, yes, Jason. So excited and so happy for him. It was so cute to see him be so excited about such a big moment in his life. Loved it. Then it's the night of Ashley's Fun Time Moms event. She has a podcast that she does, and so she's invited some of the podcast listeners as well as the ladies to this event, and she's holding the event at a selfie museum inside of the mall. I love the space. I thought it was so cute, and it would be such a cute place for, a bunch of women to go and gather, take pictures, eat, drink. Cute little spot. So Ashley and Irena and Monique are the first ones to arrive. So they go to the back to sit down and have a conversation. And Monique goes on to tell them how when she met up with Winter, that Winter said she felt like she was ambushed by them. And so Ashley and Irena are like, what? She felt like we were ambushing her. No, I felt like they was ambushing us. And Ashley even went on to say that she felt like Tasha and Winter both ambushed her at that Ocean Prime dinner. Now, this is where you have to blame the editors in the editing room, because they have yet to show us Tasha or Neil. I interviewed them, and we haven't seen none of this stuff that has been going on between Ashley and Tasha. But at this point during filming, Tasha was, from what I've read online and seen online, feeling some type of way about some of the things that Ashley said to her during that dinner at Monique and Chris's home. And then that further went on to the Ocean Prime dinner. So it's a big chunk of this story that is being left out that we don't even know anything about. And I'm wondering why they're not adding Tasha and Neil's in the, storyline more, because even though they were friends to the show, but I want to see them, because it's a chunk that's missing. So Monique then goes on. No, I'm sorry. So Ashley then says, the first thing she said when I arrived was, you're aggressive. You're aggressive to me. Da 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 da. And Monique was like, well, she said that you straddle the fence to Irena. And Irena was like, what? Like, I should get into this. Like, what the fuck? So Monique was like, she made it seem like you were going at her. And Ashley was like, I feel like she making up some fake ass scenario in her head so she can be a victim, like she's the victim of her scammer husband. And I was like, God damn, Ashley, you just love to cut to the white meat. She don't give not one fuck. So Irena was like, I feel bad though, because I did say, are you sure you're not a scammer? I'm like, Irena, you ain't shit. Monique then tells them that Winter was like, y'all were coming at her. So she was basically like, look, I know about Quick. She was like, we've all heard rumors, and your response was nothing. Ashley was like, yeah, because it didn't happen. She never said that to me. But once again, like I said, the way Winter presented the story to Monique was like she said all these things to their face, not letting her know this is what she was thinking in her head that she never said out loud. So Monique was like, I thought this all happened at lunch. And Irena was like, we would have addressed it. If she was talking about our husbands like that, hell yeah, we would have said something. So at this point, Winter walks the fuck in. And I was like, it's about to go down. Got 6 bottle chicks, 6 bottle for Chris, 4 Beverly. I got weed in the air. What do you say? Me, you, and your Chloe glasses. I was like, it's about to go down, bitch. Ashley giving her the stank eye like this old hedgehog head ass bitch, this old fake ass Cassie ass bitch. The fuck she doing her? Like, fuck this hoe. I wish I would have never invited her. Monique gets up to give her a hug, and they sit down, and Monique was like, girl, we was just talking about you. And I was like, well, at least you're honest. So Ashley was like, what you told me about my husband? Like, she hit right to it. And went to her confessional, was like, I could tell by when I walked into that room, it was some BS. Ashley was in her linebacker stance. The way they read each other cracks me the fuck up. So Winter was like, I didn't tell you anything about your husband. I asked you about him. So Ashley was like, you told Monique everybody knows about Quick. Winter says, we were in a conversation as friends. Yes, I have heard things about Quick. Ashley, her confessional, says Tasha and Winter ambushed me. I should be the one that should be upset. So Ashley was like, as soon as I walked in, it was, you're aggressive and I apologize if you were hurt. Well, I hate when people say I apologize if. Ain't no if. I felt some type of way, so just say I apologize, because that's not a real apology. So Winter was like, that was afterwards. Ashley was like, no, that was in the beginning of the conversation. I do not know what's going on in that half fucking side of your head of yours, but you're not telling the truth right now. And I was like, oh, you came from the shaved side of her head. That's not fair. Her follicles ain't got nothing to do with this. So Winter tells Irena to her face that she feel like she played both sides of the fence. And Irena was like, I could tell you still had a little attitude about Ashley. That's why I came to you when me and you met up one-on-one and asked you, do you feel like things are good between you and Ashley? Because I could just tell like you still was feeling some type of way. And from that perspective, I understood where Irena was coming from, because you could tell at that Ocean Prime dinner that Winter still felt some type of way by the facial expression she had on her face. So Winter in her confessional was like, what in the ghetto gala is happening right now? Maybe the way Monique presented the information to them came across like I was giving Monique the tea. I'm just not petty like that. But I'm like, girl, you was giving her the tea. You are petty like that. Like, come on now. Like, you can't act one way and then try to make it seem like it's something totally different. You were being messy. You were being petty. You was giving her the tea, and you was talking shit. Just admit it. So Ashley says, apparently you were talking shit about my husband. Winter was like, no, I was not. I run in the DMV and I hear stuff. But if that's not a deal breaker for her, I'm not here to judge. If you heard a rumor, I heard a rumor. We both heard rumors. And I'm looking at Ashley like, well, girl, you did say that you have heard rumors about your own husband yourself. So ain't no point in you getting mad about that part, because you admitted that you have heard rumors about your nigga. You just have never seen no proof. But at this point, Ashley Monique had her gloves off and she didn't give two fucks. So she says to Winter, I've never heard of either one of your husbands throwing shade to the fact that she's been married twice. So Winter caught it and threw it the fuck back and was like, but we've heard about yours. And Ashley says, you have proof that yours are cheaters and scammers. And I was like, ooh, another point over there. So Winter was like, but do you need proof? And Ashley was like, I don't need to investigate shit. And Winter was like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure, girl? So Irena was like, let's stop talking about husbands. Everybody, let's just be like Nam Yo Ho Renge Kyo. Everybody, let's go have a chai tea. Just stop all the fighting. I'm scared. So Ashley, co-host of the podcast, comes in to tell her, we got a Q&A we got to get to, like, sorry to interrupt, but we got to go. Now, all these people that heard, what was being said, but I'm pretty sure they had to sign NDAs. So Ashley and Winter are steady arguing, even though she got to get out there to her guests. And her co-host actually has to kind of pull her out of the room, and Irena walks with her. And at this point, people at Winter is saying that, Ashley and Irena do, are clicked up, you know what I'm saying? Even though, remember, they didn't know each other like that until they got on this show. So it's obvious that Irena and Ashley have formed some sort of a bond at this point. So they're walking out, and Ashley is still mad. She's steady talking, and she was like, you fake ass bitch. And Winter was like, okay, go ahead on. All right. And Monique is trying to get her to calm down. Ashley then goes back inside the little selfie room they were in and tells Winter to leave. And Ashley, her confession was like, Monique just sitting there like, I don't know. Did I get the story wrong? Did I do that? And rolls her eyes. And I'm thinking like, well, she don't know, you know what I'm saying, that Monique, from what I saw on the show and what I took from it, I don't think that Monique meant no harm. Would I even be mad if Monique did know the way Winter was bringing it and took it to them that way? Nah, because it's time to get this shit on rocking and rolling. You know what I'm saying? We on a reality show. We got to have some drama. It's time to get this shit started. So Monique and Winter are talking near the door, near the exit. And Monique is basically telling Winter that, they're going to have this conversation at a different time when everybody's more calmer and will actually listen to each other. And Irena walks over and she was like, it's blowing up too much. You got to go. And I was like, damn, Irena. I got to say, Irena was going hard for Ashley. Like I said, they had just became friends or whatever. I wouldn't even involve myself in it like that. But at the same token, Winter had involved Irena in it. So I would have just been talking to her on my behalf, not so much Ashley's. So Winter rolls her eyes at Irena, was like, I don't want to stay. It's fine. I'm going to go. Get the fuck on somewhere. Baby, she rolled her eyes so motherfucking hard, I thought her goddamn eyeballs was going to get stuck. So Winter then goes on to say, I got on my good heels for this selfie station. Up her dogging where Ashley had her event, this ghetto ass bullshit. She's like, if I would have known I was coming to the fucking mall, I would have put on some goddamn flats. I was like, oh God, the way they read each other is hilarious to me. So then Winter says to Monique, you really messed up some stuff. You really went back and told the story all the way wrong. And Monique was like, I did. I really did. Now I fucked it up. But that's why I honestly believe that Monique thought that this girl had said all this to their face based off the way that she conveyed the story. So Winter was like, I'm too cute to fight. I'm not ratchet like that. All that jumping. What is that about? What is that all about? So Irena looked like, not this bitch calling her ratchet or whatever. And Monique was like, not the R word. And I was like, girl, y'all gonna end up fighting, girl. And so, but no, what cracked me up was when she said, what was that all about? Irena gonna say, she from Baltimore. Irena tickles me. She be having me cracking up because she be dead ass and don't even know that she be funny. So at this point, Winter leaves. Monique in her confession was like, I just made it worse on accident. And Monique was, after the event, they all standing around, and Monique says to Ashley, like, I was not trying to cause all of this. And Ashley gonna say, yeah, you need to have a better choice of friends. Like, she was like, don't ever bring her around me again. Now, I could tell by the way Ashley was looking on her face that she was annoyed with Monique at that point, or whatever. But that showdown was funny as hell to me. Finally, we got it cracking, and I got to give it to Monique. Whether she did it on purpose or not, she did what needed to be done. So at the end of the episode, we see Irena and Jamie. They go to visit one of their properties that is in desperate need of fixing up. It's been abandoned. They've had it for a year now, and they meet up with their business partners to discuss the rehab and everything. But she lets us know that she ain't feeling this nigga right about now based off some shit that happened the night before. So she's still mad at him. So they steady making little snide comments to each other throughout the viewing of this house or whatever. And after they get done looking at the house, they stand outside and have a whole conversation about why she got an attitude with him. Jamie straight up says to her, I don't understand your energy like today. Like, what's good with you? And Irena was like, I text you and I said I'm about to pull up to the club in 5 minutes. And you came out and you had a little glass of liquor or something in your hand and was yelling at the top of your lungs. So he says that he was yelling and stuff because he walked to the car and told her to get out the car so he could park it, and she just pulled off on him. So he looking like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell I do to you? So everything was a miscommunication. She says that she was pulling up so she could be able to be closer, and so she could get out the street, and then she had on her heels and stuff, so she was trying to, make sure she was able to get out the car safely. So at this point, is obvious they've had a miscommunication. He probably was yelling. He probably had a little liquor in his system or whatever. But you know how your nigga yell at you in public. You don't like that shit because motherfuckers get to talking and shit. And then based off everything that Winter had just said about him, she was in her feelings. So Jamie at this point was like, well, why did you even come? And she was like, because it was my best friend's birthday yesterday. So Jamie in his confessional was like, she double booked her night and then go try to take it out on me. And Irena, during their conversation, tears up and was like, you made me miss my damn best friend's birthday because you was yelling and stuff. And he was like, you blame me? Like, really? She was like, yeah, because you was yelling at me and people was up there on the balcony looking and stuff and was like, who he yelling at? And then she was like, I bet you they was looking like, oh, he yelling at his wife. And she was like, I just got done being around them yelling and arguing and stuff and went to saying this, that, and the third about you. And then I get there and you yelling at me and I just left. And I was like, I understood where Irena was coming from, but he didn't know none of that had just happened or whatever. Was he wrong for yelling at you? Yes, probably he was. But you can't blame him for missing your best friend's party because you're the one that decided to leave. I wouldn't have left. I just wouldn't have said shit to him. I would have went on the inside, kicked it with my friend, and dealt with him later. So I didn't think that was fair for her to blame him. And even he was looking at her like, girl, you lost your motherfucking mind. He was like, you can save them tears because you are not about to blame me for this. And so after she gets to explaining to him everything that happened that night, he understands and he was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Do you hear me? I'm saying I'm sorry. So he was like, look, we can take Lena out today. She was like, okay. And then they kiss and they make up. So tonight's episode was so good. We're really getting to see more of these couples, seeing their triggers, seeing what, are the good parts of their marriages, what are the bad parts of their marriages. We're seeing who's clicking up after getting to know each other, who don't like each other. So at this point, we know that Winter has issues with both Irena and Ashley, and at some point she's going to have issues with Monique. We're also seeing that Ashley kind of side-eye Monique, for kicking this whole situation off. And then Tasha, who is not even being seen, seems like she had issues with Ashley as well. So yeah, the line is being drawn in the sand and we're getting more tea on these husbands and these women, and I'm loving where the show is going. Let's talk down below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys thought about tonight's episode. Whose side are you on? Are you on side of Team Ashley and Irena, or are you Team Winter? And let me know down below, do you think Monique kicked this shit off on purpose, or was it an accident? Let's talk again down below. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.